Um, Alright, okay, this is Playable 5. Sorry for the quietness. Anyway, this is the second video of me going over my ideas for Playable 5. I'm sorry about cutting out in the last video, just the way I am. I'm probably going to get Fraps right now. I use the best free recording software is Bandicam. I'm not being paid. I literally think it is. But there are quite a few flaws, tons of flaws. Its paid version isn't too much better, honestly. You can record above 10 minutes, but seriously, it's not that big of a deal. Now, Fraps, free version of Fraps sucks really bad. You can only record 30 seconds, so you can't actually, you're not even supposed to use the free version of Fraps to upload to YouTube, so it sucks. It really sucks a lot. The overlay isn't that big, and in all my videos, I've always had an overlay, and I hate that overlay so bad. It sucks having an overlay in the top of the screen, or the watermark. Now that I think about it, it's kind of dumb that I have the watermark. Should probably get some video without watermark. Anyway, let's actually get started on making the stuff. So, I think in the last video I was in the middle of talking about the magnet. The magnet is used for quite a few things. This is my mod. It's almost a crafting ideas video. I'm not going to be showing you how it's crafted. Because I don't have a full idea of it. But I will tell you. Because crafting isn't that important here. Now, my basic idea is magnets are used for most of the electric stuff. Because in real life you need magnets for electric stuff. I'm thinking about shading one of the sides red and blue. Because magnets are red on one side and blue on the other side. Not really. There's painted, but you know. You get the idea. The next thing we're going to be going over is, I know white screen scares you, it's fine. The battery. Battery is crafted with two copper on the top. So I'm actually should probably be going over this. So it's going to be a copper ingot on the very top middle of your crafting table, and then there's going to be something, and then there's going to be something in the very middle of the crafting table, and then the bottom middle there's going to be copper, and then on the side, then on those two sides there's going to be like iron or something like that. I don't know, but the idea is what is going to store the power. I haven't quite figured out. I'm thinking of lithium, but I don't want you to have to mine lithium. So I'm going to try to think of what are batteries usually made of. Usually made of lithium. I don't know, I might have to use a lead acid battery or something. I don't know what the battery would be made of. I might not even know, and then just put something like silver dust. I might actually do that, silver dust. Sounds pretty good. I'll probably do silver dust. The next thing kind of sucks. I made it pretty quickly. This is the thermal generator, which generates electricity thermally. Not too good. I'm gonna probably change this texture. Okay, so yeah, I just was cut out. But anyway, this is my genius idea of that. Then we're gonna have the dam. Well, hydroelectric dam. Hydroelectric will be the basically best for how much it costs. It's going to be basically one of the cheapest, possibly the cheapest. Coal's going to actually be fairly expensive, but hydro is going to be the cheapest and fairly efficient for what it costs. It's not going to be the best per block, but it's going to be the best per price. It's going to make about the same as wind, only you have to have flowing water on top of it, or flowing water block. You can't have, it has to be flowing water. So you have to have flowing water either on top, next to it, whatever, just flowing water somewhere that's touching it. It has to be touching flowing water. Anyway, now we're going to have the turbine. The turbine is used to craft basically everything except the solar panel. Solar panel I have not designed yet. I don't even have a crafting recipe for it yet, so I don't know. This is the turbine is basically the idea behind a turbine is that it's a coil which you have to craft. So you'll have to craft it using a copper coil. So you'll craft a coil, and then which I don't have designed yet. So it'll be a copper coil, and you use the copper coil, and you take a magnet, a copper coil, a magnet, and then you take the copper coil. It's gonna be like a copper coil, a magnet, or something. So let me actually think. So it's gonna be a copper coil, a copper coil. It's actually gonna be like copper. Oh yeah, okay, I totally forgot. So there isn't gonna be a coil. It's just copper wire. So it's gonna be a copper wire going straight down the middle of the crafting table. The top middle, middle, and then bottom middle. And then there's going to be 2 magnets on the middle right and middle left of the crafting table, and then the corners is going to be like sticks or something. That's basically the idea. Something like that. I know you probably can't quite understand what I'm saying because it's hard to explain crafting recipes. This is going to be wind, which is going to be basically have the same power output as hydro, except the problem is, well, actually, it's going to have slightly less. It's going to have probably like a watt less.
Welcome back to the cleaning games. Let's get a recap, Murph.
Thanks, Mr. Clean Magic Eraser.
Anyway, that was pretty funny. What the heck? I know, it was like Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. Whatever. Not a sponsor. Anyway, yeah, it'll make slightly less wattage than a hydroelectric. So it'll be not necessarily quite as efficient. Because the most efficient source of power is hydroelectric. We all know it. It's sad, but it's true. We just don't want to kill all those fish. It's so sad. There's no fish. They're just dying. Oh, we eat more of them than die from the hydroelectric dam, so it doesn't matter. But anyway, yeah, that's basically the idea. Is that it's just it has to be exposed to air blocks on what is it? How many sides on a block? There's 6 sides. 6 sides. It'll have to be on 5 of the sides will have to be exposed to air blocks. So it's going to be the algorithm there. 5 of the sides will have to be to air blocks, and then the higher the y-axis it is, the higher on the y-axis that it is. Well, the 5 sides, it's kind of like a requirement because you have to have a wire coming out of it, so it's kind of like, you have to have a double wire, actually. There's 2 types of wires. There's single wire and double wire. And when you're getting electricity, you have to have a double wire because electricity has an anode and a cathode. In real life, it makes a lot more sense. You know how you have a circuit? Circuit means circle. There has to be 2 wires coming from power to the. It's basically the way that you think about it is water pushing through the pipe, and then if there's like a little wheel on the end and that spins like a little wheel, you can't just push water down one pipe to the end, because if the pipe is just dead end, you can't just push it because it just stops. You can't push it without the pressure increasing and then it exploding. Same with electricity. It has to go in a circle. So that's basically the way electricity works. Hopefully that made sense. That's basically a terrible explanation. Anyway, next is wire. I'm gonna make the double wire later. But right now this is the wire. It's crafted with wool and a copper ingot. 2 wool and a copper ingot will give you 6 wires, probably. Put more actually. And then 2 wires together will give you 1 double wire in a crafting table. I haven't come up with the double wire yet. It'll be like this, only it'll have 2 of them right next to each other, and it'll be like basically that's gonna be it. It'll be like 2 of these smushed together. I'll just copy it, paste it, smush together. That's basically the idea. And then we have the wire front. This is the end of the block, so it's gonna look like the end of the block. This isn't actually gonna be. That's gonna be the item. This is the end of the block. And then the rest of the block, the rest of the block is just going to be the wool texture. So I'm just going to say, get that from the wool texture in the coding.